Breaking news this afternoon. After years of discourse between the Commissioner of Internal Revenue and Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation, both parties have finally opened up to the media following the conclusion of the case regarding the latter's tax liabilities. Fresh from the resolution of the case, here is Bernadette Pascual reporting live from the Court of Tax Appeals.
Thank you, Angelo. We are about to interview the Commissioner of Internal Revenue in a moment. Good morning, ma'am. Can you please testify to us your petitions against the HSBC and can you tell us your thoughts about the ruling of the court?
Yes, as part of the incorporation of the Global Payments Asia Pacific PH, HSBC engaged in a transaction that involved a transfer of its POS terminals, other IT assets, and merchant agreements of its MAB on July 22, 2008. This is believed to constitute a sale of goodwill and should be assessed of an income tax deficiency. So on January 7, 2011, we issued them a preliminary assessment notice. However, HSBC filed a petition against it and requested for the matter to be forwarded to the Legal and Inspection Group for settlement. Following that, on June 28 of the same year, we finally issued a final assessment notice of 318,781,625.17 inclusive of interest for the sale of goodwill in line with Section 27A of the Tax Code as amended. However, HSBC again filed a petition against it, but this time an administrative protest. Lastly, on January 18, 2012, we finally issued a final decision on disputed assessment. However, HSBC filed a petition against it, but this time with the CTA division, wherein the Supreme Court and the CTA both ruled out that HSBC is not held liable for the payment of the income tax deficiency and that the transaction is under CGT and not under the regular corporate income tax.
Thank you for your time, Commissioner. Back to you, Angelo.
Thank you, Bernadette. As you can see right now, we're here joined in the studio by Ms. Raven Dizon, a Court of Tax Appeals officer. Ms. Raven, thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Okay, so the ruling on the court was to decline the commissioner's petition to make HSBC pay for its alleged tax liabilities, specifically income tax from the sale of goodwill. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So can you take us through further in the ruling of the court and how it went down?
The court declined the petition because HSBC filed an application and joint certification with the BIR to gain a tax-free exchange for the first sale of GPAP Philippines shares to HSBC in exchange for its POS and MAB, and this is allowed under the Section 40 of the NIRC.
The petitioner claims the respondent had flaws in obligations. Therefore, subsequent share sales were subjected to capital gains tax instead of regular corporate income tax. The petitioner's sale of goodwill was rejected by the court because it is an intangible asset generated by business operations and cannot be transferred separately.
The court dismissed the petition because it found no evidence that the respondent needed to pay its income taxes.
So that explains why the HSBC didn't need to pay any tax liabilities.
Yes, that is correct.
Thank you for coming, ma'am. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And now we just got word that we received a footage of an HSBC representative that was interviewed regarding the outcome of the case. Let's hear what they had to say.
So, it has been 4 years since the corporation has pleaded its case against the petition of CIR. So, what is it like to become a victor in such a lengthy and a pivotal case?
On behalf of the HSBC, it wasn't really a surprise that the CTA declined the petition of CIR. I mean, in the sale of stocks, there was never an issue in the sale of goodwill in the first place. And we know why, as ruled by the CTA, so doon pa lang talo ng CIR. Also, HSBC paid its rightful tax liabilities such as CGT and GST, so we're clear of any tax liabilities. Actually, it's a sigh of big relief that we're through being liable from something we're not. Sa laki ba naman ng income tax due that the CIR was compelling?
As a taxpayer myself, I understood that sentiment. And that concludes today's breaking news. This has been Angelo Pangito of Channel 2 News, hoping your news is good news.